Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the 153rd edition of Cinema Effect. I'm Zach, and I'm joined by the amazing Spider-Man Defense Force, Jaden.
Howdy.
Howdy. Howdy. I don't think I've ever said howdy, but you say it a lot. I might steal it now.
Like I was listening
do.
back to last week, and I used it last week, I think, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't
Yeah.
mind it.
I'd say you use it, what do you reckon, like 1 in 3 times, maybe?
Yeah, wow.
A fair bit. You're definitely the person I know that says howdy the most, no doubt.
You know, I think I have used it in like a social setting as well, and
Yeah.
when we you know,
Yeah.
I won't contest, okay.
When we see each other outside of this podcast, which, believe it or not, does happen. And PTA's number one fanboy, a.k.a. Fitzy, a.k.a. Liam.
Howdy. What's up?
Nice. Now that's definitely going to be... I have to remember that's the thing I'm going to use on the Discord notification this week. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is Cinema Effect, the podcast where we review and talk about a different movie every single Monday. And this week, that movie is The Outfit, which opened in the US on March 18th, 2022. It was directed by a man named Graham Moore, who I looked into. He has a writing credit on The Imitation Game, but this was his first feature film. So shout out to him. It is a crime drama, and the synopsis says, an expert cutter must outwit a dangerous group of mobsters in order to survive a fateful night. Fitzy, do you want to kick us off with your thoughts on The Outfit? And I assume you haven't seen it before. I don't need to ask that question.
I don't know. It was okay. I was kind of engaged-ish, but I didn't really have a reaction to anything. I guess I was kind of just like an NPC watching it. But I was pretty engaged, so yeah, can't fault it that much. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I really quite liked it. Went by really quick for me. There were definitely a few points where I was doing the equivalent. I was engaging with it quite a bit, actually. I was doing the equivalent of like confused glances at the screen sometimes because I thought the movie was making some odd choices. But each time I thought that, I think it then in the following few minutes sort of won me back over a couple of times. So that was interesting. A few little story choices there that were of note for me. But yeah, curious to see if you guys felt the same way about some of that stuff. But yeah, it was good. I actually quite liked it. I would say I'm sounding a bit above Fitzy here. What about you, Jaden?
I quite liked it as well. It's I watched this rather late last night, and I was kind of dreading it because like I thought it was going to be like getting into like a 2 hour and 40 fucking Scorsese type of thing. And then when I saw an hour and 40 on the runtime, I was like, fuck yeah. And it just kept on engaging me more and more. Like I was more engaged at the end than I was at the start. Like at the start, I was kind of like, I was like, okay, watch this. But then like I think it ramped up in a rather positive way. It kind of got to a point where like I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need to. Not definitely need. It's not that you definitely need to pay attention, but I was like, I definitely want to pay more attention.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah, it did ramp up. Yeah, it started for me as a pleasant watch. I would say in the first like 20 minutes, I'm like, okay, some good acting and it seems kind of cool. But then when it sort of became clear in regards to, it didn't really become clear what the movie was sort of going to end up being situationally until bloody what's his face got shot in the face, shot in the throat first. What's his name again? I kept saying what's his face in my notes. It's Dylan something, is it?
Dylan O'Brien or something.
Dylan O'Brien, I think that's right.
Something like that.
Excellent. Yeah. I couldn't remember. From that point onward, yeah, that's when it like, okay, I feel I get this movie now, And then yeah, it only ramped up from there, which was cool. And there was definitely some crazy shit that went down later on, 100%. I've got to say, first thing that I took note of, probably in this opening 20 minutes, was the fact that we get no glimpse of the outside except basically this direct, pretty damn tight exterior of the shop itself. Is the shop what is it? Is it a tailor shop? Because I know he's not a tailor. He says that many times. But what is it? Is it a cutter shop? Is it a suit shop? Like, how would you define this place of business here? I don't know. Bloody place where suits are made. So I made note of the fact. Okay, we're staying tight on this exterior here, but I thought maybe we'll leave this. So I was sort of just waiting to see if we ever expanded the reaches of the setting,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
never do. We never do at all. So it sort of got me thinking. I don't know if you guys know, but like, or just we've talked about this a lot on the show. If it just had the feeling of like a COVID movie, you know, because to me it definitely had the. Yeah, okay, cool. It definitely had those characteristics just in like what's actually practically happening. But I guess it took me longer to realize that that's what it might be.
I definitely
guess
didn't
that's a compliment to it.
I never felt like it was a COVID film, you know.
Right.
It feels like, well, like everything was limited. It felt like it was limited for the sake of the story, you know. It felt like it was room for the stage.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
It really, really does. Yeah, absolutely. Even in like you can picture the, I don't know, like if a production designer on stage were to like create the different rooms laid out like on a theater there. Yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I was taking note of that. Yeah, I totally agree because it was more of a thing of like, it didn't have the feel of a COVID thing of like, oh, okay, yeah, there's only X amount of characters, and it still felt like anything could happen. Anyone could walk in at any time. Usually in these COVID movies, I feel like the story is sort of like you have an understanding of what it is pretty early, and it never goes beyond that. I didn't feel this way this time. As I said, it was more something I just sort of noticed. I was like, oh, I guess we haven't left. Therefore, maybe it is a COVID movie. So I don't know. I guess this movie does COVID. Does COVID genre pretty good, and I would say that it does pretty well as a period piece, despite the small focus as well. I don't know. Usually, like in a period piece, you sort of like to get a feel of where the world's at and stuff. And considering it only exists as a period piece, really, in the costume design, in like I don't know, like I guess a little bit, like in the technology, I guess you would say, in like in the shop and shit, a little bit. And then outside of that, it's just in the dialogue, you know. And considering that's sort of all they got to work with, I would say that it satisfying a 1950s setting was actually done pretty well. Would you say that Dylan O'Brien doing his old school Chicago accent, though, was a part of that, you know? This is a little bit distracting to me, I'm not going
to
lie.
As in, it was odd to see him do it, or it was bad? Is that
I don't want to say it's bad. I don't feel like I have enough authority to say it was bad. It was distracting. It was distracting.
Yeah. Nah, I felt the same way about that.
My pops runs this neighborhood or whatever. I don't know. That was terrible, but you know what I'm saying? When he has all these lines. Comes from Chicago, you know. It's like, oh.
Chicago, yeah.
There was definitely a character who was saying Chicago. But I guess that's authentic? Yeah. I don't know who was saying that. I think, maybe it was his dad said that at one point. He said Chicago.
Maybe it's
I was bewildered by that.
Yeah, okay.
I guess that must be real. You can't get away with that. So anyway,
I think
maybe he didn't nail all aspects of the period piece thing.
Yeah. I think the dialogue does a great job at like kind of establishing everything about the period. Like you know, you might dismiss it as I can say it like, you know, dismissed as exposition by like critics, but like I think it establishes everything really well without dwelling on it, or like you know, post-war period, his history, you know, the kind of social aspects of the neighborhood, the kind of popular movements that are happening at the time. Like, I think it crafts it really well. Like, even had it not said Chicago 1956 at the start of the film, you'd very quickly pick up that it's Chicago, obviously. But then, you'd be able to deduce it's like, you know, 50s. I think pretty easily.
Yeah, for sure. One of my favorite lines in relation to that is actually, I didn't even sort of thought about it in the same way of like putting people's ages together of when people would be alive in different periods of time. I hadn't really thought about this, but one of my favorite lines is when Mark Rylance says he was in the war, and the guy says, "Aren't you a bit old to be in the war?" And he said, "The other war." And I was like, yeah, right, there's this crossover period in history here where, like, obviously people went to both wars, and that's so crazy now just because I think it's fair to say we're at a point now in 2023 where very few people who served, obviously in World War I, but very few people served even in World War II would still be alive, you know? So it's just an interesting, like, oh, wow, that's a lot of veterans out there, you know? So, yeah, I thought that was an interesting line for sure. Oh, speaking of Mark Rylance. So his name's Leonard, it said in the synopsis I saw. But do they ever call him that? I don't think
so.
No.
I kept running English.
What's the assistant call him? Does she call him anything, actually, or does she just kind of address him?
I don't know if she calls him anything.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, because after the movie finished, I was like, the synopsis called him Leonard. I swear to God, they never said that in the movie, but maybe I'm wrong. I'll call him Leonard or English or Mark Rylance, okay? So strap in. He's definitely one of the main reasons this movie works really well. I'm not like super familiar with his work. I feel like the most standout I've ever seen him in a movie is actually in Don't Look Up. That was him, right? He was like the tech guy, I think.
Yeah.
That was hilarious, I remember. But yeah, right from the get-go, this character was likable. Huge grandpa energy, I would say.
Oh, what do you mean? Dunkirk was great in Dunkirk.
Oh, yeah, he's in Dunkirk.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that. Yeah, he's good in Dunkirk. Yeah, for sure. Obviously great as the BFG, as Jaden will agree. But yeah, in this film, huge grandpa energy, I would say. English, just being he's just a gentle British soul, you know? At least that's what we're led to believe. And in those opening chapters, just has a real innocence and sort of matter-of-fact sweetness to the role, I would say, and really enjoyed that side of the performance from the start. And then from the so that's a good introduction to him. Find him instantly likable, but then like from the moment that the idea of the rat is introduced fairly early on, that there is a rat, I started watching him closely. At first, I was trying to pinpoint if he's being manipulative or not, but I just totally bought it. Like he seemed to be totally honest in every situation. I think he says something briefly where he's like he can't basically admits he can't lie, and then to see him have to start lying, I was like genuinely believed in his honesty to where like I was like struggling to watch him lie because I'm like, oh my God, this guy can't lie. He's never done this before. He's really struggling with this. I really, really bought into it 100%. So that's sort of that he's an honourable person who respects his craft and all that sort of shit. So then when we get to the goddamn reveal, the best thing I can say about it at the end is that I didn't see it coming at all. And it worked because I really believed the other, I don't know, like a characterization that he had going previously. So it was kind of a crazy reveal for me that he was this gangster murderer the whole time. But I don't know if that worked for you guys because it did come quite late, and I could see it maybe being a point of contention. But yeah, I don't know. Like the performance aspect side of it definitely went over well with me, I would say. But how do you guys feel about it?
I don't know. Like the film definitely felt like it was pushing the fact that he had something to reveal. So when we got to that point, I was like,
"Oh, okay,
yeah, okay." But like, also, I just don't. I don't know. I don't like Mark Rylance that much, apart from in Dunkirk. Like his performance in Bones and all is some of the cringiest shit.
Oh.
I can't forgive him for that. But like, I don't know. He's just got this creepy way of talking, and it's just annoying.
British people in general.
Yeah, I don't know.
So you find it creepy? See, I described it, and it's like I find it like sweet. I think he's he's a gentle soul. And you would describe it as creepy?
Yeah, it's creepy, man.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Definitely nothing sinister about it, in my opinion. But I guess there is like, I guess creepiness. That is what it is. It's like a lot. It's a thin line, I guess. When something is creepy. How do you feel about this side of it, Jane? Jumping right to the end, but it is sort of does change the perspective of the whole movie, and I was thinking how it might affect rewatches as well.
So I went into this expecting Rylance to be like well tuned in, but then it's like as the movie goes, it's that thing you're talking about. Like it's like it tries to hide it, but then I'm like, is the movie trying to hide it, or is it just trying to like throw me off? Or was like, I was confused in a good way, like like that the movie kept his identity ambiguous, and I feel like my opinion on him being clued in and clued out changed, but not at the times the film wanted me to. Like it like that like there's beats where they want you to like think he is up to something, but then like I feel like those aren't the moments that I was fully along floating those lines.
Okay.
What was your question? Performance. I don't know. I think Riley.
Yeah, you go.
I think Rylance plays it well though, like super well. I think he's a highlight of the film, really. I think that aspect of keeping me guessing and is kind of due to his performance in his kind of innocence or kind of manipulation.
Yeah. But that's the thing, though, is that to me, anyway, he just seemed like such a warm presence that I took the character at face value, and like I sort of had an interpretation of the movie about halfway through that. Okay, it's I think I thought I understood the movie. I thought it was this honest character having to navigate this complex crime situation and, lie and, as you say, manipulate and all that sort of shit, and which makes sense as a story for a movie like this. So I thought at that point I just grasped what the movie was going for, and then it sort of flipped it on its head. So that's how I felt. But I'm curious, Fitz, like you said that you thought it had something to reveal the whole time. Like I didn't.
Yeah,
I don't think I felt that way. Like, were there moments? I don't think so for me. But
well, like he's obviously always just manipulating people, and it feels like the movie does the same thing over and over again, where he's acting innocent and he's not. Well, I at least thought he wasn't.
Okay.
And then he just kind of out Sherlock's everyone to like deeper and deeper layers, where it just kind of gets a bit ridiculous.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely didn't feel that he was like some innocent guy. Like it was all like it was a performance that was done again and again and again, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, right. Were there any particular points that you mentioned, and there were some that you were questioning him in particular?
Questioning him in which sense? In the innocent sense, or that he was, up to something sense?
Thinking that he was up to some shit.
Well, I just started the movie like that, so that kind of so like this kind of permeated throughout, but more because of my own kind of expectation going into it, So like some of those beats just played a bit differently in my head because I was already in that line of thinking, So when he did start manipulating people, I was like, oh, so he is that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I believed the man. I believed him. To me, like the when at the end when it was the thing that they had been planning it all for months. Well, so hang on, Fitzy. So did you think that the whole thing was a setup for him to win?
I didn't think he like set it all up, but like I wasn't surprised when the movie did that, because the movie like keeps going bigger and bigger with what he knows and what he's done, and like how clued in he is on it, I guess. But I didn't think he set the whole outfit thing up. That was a surprise, I guess.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I didn't see that shit coming at all. And it's
like, how can you believe him? He's like, I'm just an innocent tailor, and you got to cut this, and I have a mysterious backstory, and I'm manipulating these guys to shoot each other, and I don't know.
But how does he have a mysterious backstory?
Because he does. They have the flashback of the fire, like.
Yeah, but then the flashback of the fire. No, that's fair. But then they say, oh yeah, his wife and daughter died. And I was like, okay, got it.
Yeah,
I bought it right away as soon as they said that. That's the only thing prior to that reveal that I could see personally. I love it. It sounds like you were just like hearing it in his voice like the whole time. Like you just have this sixth sense awareness of Mark Rylance. You can read him. Yeah, that's great.
I'm in his mind. Yeah.
I definitely could not. Like for me, and I guess maybe this is what you were talking about, Fitzy, with struggling to engage with it a bit more than us, because like for me, the most I was engaging with it were these moments where like I always find it very entertaining to watch characters be put in what I perceived at the time as difficult situations where they're totally out of their depth. Again, didn't end up being the case, but I felt that he was totally out of his depth, and watch how they react and how they have to think quickly and spontaneously. And there were so many fun examples of that throughout the movie that I was like, I was cringing. I was like, oh God, how's he gonna fix this one? I love when goddamn Richie's dad says, that's Richie's coat right there. Well, he has the monologue, and then he says, because that's Richie's coat. And I just felt like totally sprung for goddamn English in that moment. I was just like, holy shit, he just got. But now, hang on. But
in that moment, I was like, could you not just explain it like, oh, he left it here the other day, he was wearing a different coat tonight, Like,
that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know if I would think that quickly. But now it's like, I guess the ending does change that, where it's like, did Mark Rylance account for that? This was planned for months. This whole operation, the setup, taking down the mob and everyone naughty in Chicago. But like, he didn't know that Francis was going to kill Richie on this night. right?
Well, he manipulates them into like into one of them killing the other. I feel like that's the first instance where he's like telling one guy
Okay.
this, like he thinks he's a bit sus. He thinks you're sus. He's among us thing. I mean,
Ah, really? Okay. Okay.
But
Interesting.
he manufactured the night to occur, though, right?
Does he in every way?
Because all that outfit mail that was coming from him, right? So like,
Yeah.
wasn't all that planned by
How
him?
does he get? So this is what I was talking about at the start. One of the story choices where I wasn't 100% sure how this works, how this makes sense. Like so, but how does? Why do Richie and Francis show up that night in the first place? Because they were Richie was wounded
Mm.
and they needed a place of refuge, right? Is that not it? So like, how did he create that?
And nearby, I don't know. Maybe he knew they'd retreat there, if considering it was nearby.
But did he know there's going to be an altercation?
The tape thing. I don't know how he like made them. I guess it was just a coincidence that they came into this place, but the movie might make it seem like it wasn't. But yeah, he created the tape thing, which I guess I don't know instigated the fights between the different gangs. Yeah.
I think the plan was to kill them all off, but it just so happened the night unfolded that it could be all done in one night. Whereas that night might have originally just been for Francis and Richie to die.
Right. See, that's what I sort of thought, that it was just a situation where he was planning. He had his intentions, and he was obviously setting up the tapes, but he didn't have a specific like script for how this night was going to go or anything. Like he was sort of. He was ready. He had the tape recorder ready to go for when, because he knew that they trusted the location, and that when a situation would arise where they'd need to fall back on it, he could launch. I guess is how you could interpret it. If he knows it's going to be a safe space for them to go, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, but no, I didn't get that he like deliberately manipulates Francis into killing Richie. I guess that is what he does. Do you mean when he has the conversations with them both individually before they meet?
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, like he takes a tape, so like he has to convince the other two that the other one did it, right? The other one took the tape. Because he's protecting the assistant, who's like the daughter figure, supplicant daughter figure. Yeah.
Yes, you're not allowed to say the word daughter. Remember?
No.
Why?
Because remember, they go the whole movie without saying. They don't say daughter. They say
but she's the daughter figure.
Yeah, but like in the film, they don't say the word daughter.
Yeah, but Liam's talking about her as a daughter figure, so that's right.
Oh, all right. By the way, I just thought it was really cool for some reason when the fact that all his narration in the movie was just ended up being like basically just tapes to fill. He just needed bullshit like something to put on tapes. So it's him just explaining it. Like in universe, it's just literally he needs something to put on this tape. So he's just explaining his Jesus Christ occupation into a microphone. And like, but that's like the narration for the film. I just thought that was funny. I like that a lot, actually. Okay, so right. So, oh my god, this is funny. Putting this all together. Bloody, what's her face was the rat. What's her name? Mabel was the rat. I need to ask Fitzy right away. He had a whole different read on this movie, clear to me. I sort of was taking for granted that Francis was obviously the rat.
No, I thought that Leonard was the rat because he just had this air of manipulation from the start. But
okay.
Yeah, it was a surprise that she was the rat, I guess. Although she wasn't. She was a rat by his manufacturing, I guess, right? I don't know.
No, he picked up on her thing because she started it and he finished it.
Right.
Didn't he invent the whole tape thing to get the money? And he invented the outfit thing, so...
No, because she contacted the FBI first because she had a maid there to try and clean up her neighborhood.
Right, so it's like that came before Leonard started putting the fake outfit.
And then he found the tape day one, I think is what they say. So like he just hopped in and hijacked it a bit. But she's the one that wanted to do it.
Okay. So he sort of jumped in, right, to finish it and to protect her, I guess. I'm sure he feels the same way.
Well, yeah, to protect her from being a murderer, which is not murderer, but having people killed, is what he says at the end. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I sort of took for granted that Like the second Francis shoots Richie, I sort of just took for granted, oh, well, he has killed him, so he's obviously the rat, you know? But then it didn't matter because then the movie just kept progressing and it turned into, it didn't really matter. Who the rat was didn't really matter anymore in the moment anyway because it just turned into this situation where everyone's just trying to get out of these social situations that they're in this room alive. So like I sort of just thought, oh, well, Francis is the rat, but that's fine because then when you have that situation where bloody Francis comes back into the room with Mabel at gunpoint and bloody Mark Rylance was clearly about to say that Francis shot Richie. Like at that point, that's the movie, you know, like that's the tension there. So I sort of was like, oh yeah, well, obviously he's a rat. But yeah, I was wrong about that one too. So the movie got me there, I guess, as well.
I thought this movie won awards. Was it not? But then, like, I checked the IMDb and like it has like nothing. But I feel like I heard his name floating around during awards season. Is that?
I definitely did not hear it floating around during awards season. No.
I swear, I'm looking at the Oscar short sheet, whatever it was. I swear this appeared on it a few times. So it shocked me to see that it had like no awards.
I don't think it got a single nom.
No, I didn't.
No. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess I understand why. I don't know. Do I? I don't know. I don't know. That was a cool movie. It was cool. Like I was saying, like some of those, the entertaining moments for me were like just the quick thinking stuff. Like I loved the trick that he pulled on Francis, where he said, "I removed the bullets from your gun earlier this evening," and he makes him look at the gun. That was really good. I enjoy that shit a lot. All the quick thinking shit is just entertaining.
Is something done for the audience as well, though, not just like character sake? Because like you see him inspecting you see him eyeing off the gun, so it's a believable thing for the audience. So it tricks the audience as well in that moment, you know. Because it's not like we don't see him tampering. Like a lot of like his things do apply for the audience as well, you know.
Right.
It's kind of a
yeah. We never saw him. We never see him tamper with anything at all. Actually, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's like you buy into. Oh, I guess because he does tamper with other shit, but he doesn't tamper with that. That's totally got me. That was really good. The other sort of main questionable choice in the moment as it happened. I wonder what kind of vibes it gave you, Fitzy, when bloody Francis stood up like a goddamn zombie. Like when he was alive and they have this whole final fight, I was like, okay, this is at first this was like definitely bordering on corny, you know. How is this man alive? Why are we having this final fist fight?
Well, it because I felt that too. But the whole movie spent it establishing that he has survived getting shot 6 times in one night. So him getting shot twice in the back, you know, the groundwork is there laid that he's, you know, pretty resilient to bullets.
Okay, all right. No, that's fair. That's a good point. I made sure to put that. They realised after and they retroactively wrote in this shit that he got shot plenty of times earlier.
Do you guys know Michael Pitt? Because that guy, he looks so much like Michael Pitt, but he wasn't. The actor was Johnny
Francis.
Flynn. Yeah, Francis.
I'd never seen Francis, I don't think.
I was like, that's kind of Michael Pitt, but no.
Yeah, I can see it.
Well, he sort of does look like that, yeah. Yeah, so that's fair on the setup, Jaden. Did you have any sort of reaction to this moment, Fitzy? Because it definitely felt the most movie bullshit that the movie got. But I would argue that the reveal afterwards of the tattoos sort of saved it for me, but I can sort of see it either way.
Like, I didn't really have much reaction to anything, as I said earlier, I guess. But it was I don't know. Yeah, it was very movie-ish, I guess. It was very, very silly.
Yeah, right, exactly, yeah. Learning that Leonard, I did not expect him to be like an ex-mobster guy, ex-badass guy. So, like, learning that he did justify the final fight for me. Because before that, I'm like, why are we having why is old... Because at this point, I'm still buying into this shit. I'm like, why is poor old Grandpa Leonard, Englishman, still having to like get into a knife fight at the end of this movie? Like that was crazy, but I ended up being okay with it, I think. But also thinking about the themes of the ending as well, just that final reveal and what it means, and some final narration. I think the film sort of wants us to leave us on this note that it's about you know, you try and be the best person you can be in life, but inevitably it turns out you aren't perfect. It crumbles. The truth reveals itself, whatever, as it does for this guy. And then the cycle sort of continues. You know, the idea that, I guess, like, I don't know if English as a persona or whatever, the persona that Leonard puts on throughout the movie is an outfit, you know?
Right. It's like
that he's trying to disguise himself.
It's like a bad version of Unforgiven, basically.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I guess. Yeah, that's actually true. Wow. That's sort of what I got out of it, is that, you know, okay, he's had a life reset before to become the cutter he is, and then this is like another reset point because the bad side came out. The second his tattoos came down from those sleeves, man, it was over. He has to reset his shitty life again.
He has snake tattoos, dude.
Snake tattoos.
He's from the jungle.
Oh man, maybe I feel like Leonard deserves a prequel movie. Actually, like have him be like this messed up World War I veteran who becomes like, you know, a badass in the London gangster scene or something. You know what I mean? Fitzy, you'd go see it day one. I know you would. Look at him. Did you like the ending at all, Jaden? Anything that you picked up from it?
I really liked it. I liked the entire film. I liked everything that was happening. Like the tattoo and the mobster reveal to me was less of a surprise than it was to you. But like, you know, I think the film built well to it to kind of have this final bit of release that was a bit more actiony than the rest of the film was. But you're
exactly.
Right. It is the most movie it gets. But I still enjoyed it.
For sure. It still felt like, I thought it was going off the rails for a second, and then I realized, oh no, it is part of the picture. It does fit. It works, I think. Regardless of it being maybe a little bit visually immediately like a bit what the hell's going on in the seconds it's happening. There was a quote in this movie I thought you'd respect, Jaden, and I thought was cool. It was just the fact that he makes a good point about suits being timeless. They're not just fashionable, you know. I knew you'd relate to that. I feel like you would.
Why is that?
You always go on about how you like suits and shit.
Yeah, I think like I think they look nice. You know, every man looks better in a suit and tie.
Right. See, yeah.
But that's not to say like he'd be appalled by the way I dress, like by the way I dress day to day. So I mean, like, you know,
I guess he would be. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, but I think he'd appreciate that you respect his sentiment.
Mm.
And by the way, I just also want to say that blue jeans, unless there's a different style or understanding of blue jeans in the 50s that aren't contemporary now, but he was wrong about blue jeans, right? Because blue jeans are around. People like blue jeans in 2023.
Yeah.
True.
So, doesn't know shit about fashion, clearly. Dude, I had literally no trivia for this movie because it wasn't an Academy Award nominee. Not many people had interesting trivia to write.
Make our own trivia. Oh, actually, I got a
sure.
In the final scene when he's stabbing Francis, the blood spatter on his shirt changes.
Does it?
Yeah.
Did you see it, or did you look up the goof?
No. I saw it. You see, I don't usually notice that shit, but this time, you know, it was...
like where it changed sides on his.
No, so he gets shot, right? But that's the only blood stain on his shirt, and then he stabs Francis in the neck, but he doesn't have any blood on him. But then in the shot where it cuts to him standing over him and about to do it again, like that, there's blood on his on his shoulder. That wasn't there before.
Oh, but could you say that in the time between cuts, like the blood appeared there because of the wound?
No, because it's like a splatter pattern type thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Exclusive,
yes. That no one else picked up on it on IMDb. You should add that to the IMDb trivia because you'll literally get like 200 likes immediately.
No, it needs to go to the goofs section.
Yeah, I never look at the goofs.
No, neither do I. I don't really care about them.
Neither. Yeah. I'm pretty much done, but I will just say that I actually quite liked the French lady who came in, who's also the other head of the other.
That was so cringe.
God damn it! Can I compliment it for 1 second? I'll just say that I thought her monologue about immigrants was quite good and well acted. But how did you feel about it, Lee?
That was the only point of the film where I had a reaction, which was cringe.
To what?
To like her accent? Yeah, I don't know.
It was fine, wasn't it? It was just French.
The movie didn't need another monologue. It just didn't. From a French, no, just no. I don't even have to justify it. It was bad.
But she talked about immigrants working hard, and and they draw attention to themselves, just like English.
Yeah, cool. It was bad. What do you want me to say about it?
Jen, was it good? Look, because this is the thing here. Like, Fitzy saying it was bad, I specifically wrote down because I thought it was good. It's not like, it's not even an indifference. Like,
no, he just doesn't like the movie. Like, it's just a difference. The entire thing, it seems like it.
Sure, but like
he came in here like somewhat positive, but it feels like his
he's actually about to drop a 4 on it. Let's be real.
I was expecting a 4 as well, and he's laughing. He knows it's a 4.
But okay, Jaden, you can be the decision maker though. Is the French monologue good or bad?
Yeah, I liked it. I liked it a lot especially because the actress she's from Luther, so I didn't know she had a career after that. So it was good to see her again.
Awesome. Okay,
but no, I thought everything that happens, especially dialogue wise, I really liked. We just spoiled Liam's final verdict, so I mean,
Yeah, we did actually. Liam, if you want, we can just choose your verdict for you and like hack your letterbox or something. It's up to you.
Anyway. Am I done? I feel like there's more to say actually.
You feel like, no, come on. You feel like there's more to shit on.
I didn't shit on this movie.
No,
I think it was actually.
You called it a bad version of Unforgiven, which is already a shit-ass movie. So I mean, like,
in Liam's defense, wow. In Liam's defense, he was talking about specifically the thematic twist of the ending.
That's not like the whole movie. Yeah. You know what? I think when it was most engaging was with Francis and Dylan O'Brien. Their arguments were cool. Whenever Dylan was on the screen in the first half, it was very good. The movie was like overall engaging, but just very. I don't know. I think it was predictable just because of the fact that I was keyed on Rylance's like hyper manipulation and his fucking creepy acting, and his fucking creepy voice.
Wow.
But that French scene was still cringe.
Is there other actors that you think have an inherently creepy voice, or is it just Rylance?
Just Rylance, man.
Okay.
But if she's the perfect role for him, man. Perfect.
We know how you'd cast him in your film. All right, let's get to the final verdicts for the outfit. Liam, get it done, mate. Come on. Be truthful.
6. This is 6.
Refuses to be honest with the audience. Unbelievable.
Just like Mark Rylance.
Wow. I feel like now I need to watch more Mark Rylance movies just for this perspective. I'll give it a 7.
Question of the week: is he creepy or is he
Is Mark Rylance? Yeah, exactly. I love it. Yeah, it's totally opposite, but yeah. I'll give this movie a 7. I liked it. What about you, Jed?
I'm slapping an 8 on it. I really like it.
Wow. Nice. Okay, let's get into news chat. The one story of the week, but it's a pretty big one.
Oh, I forgot to watch it. Shit.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you guys talking, I'll hop on it.
we
got the Dune Part 2 trailer dropping. I didn't see it. Fitzy, I want to hear what you thought about it.
Okay. Solo time.
I deliberately didn't watch it though. Like I didn't. It's not like I forgot.
Oh right. Okay.
To say it.
Yeah, it was different to what I expected. I guess there was less like playing with the scope of things and like big spaceships and tiny dots in skies, and there was more of like just Arrakis and of the like Baron like Harkonnen's family, and it felt more like a personal kind of drama thing than the first one. Feels like I don't know if it'll be like that, but the second half of the book definitely like leads more into that kind of thing. So yeah, it was pretty cool. It was just like very different to what I expected in some ways, but it was cool.
So different in terms of
I don't know, like
like
almost like aesthetic. Like there was one big thing was like the black and white, like the Harkonnen family are like shot in black and white, like Nolan does in some of his films, like Memento, whatever. Where you have like just segments of black and white, but also
really
there's just like less, there's less wide shots, like hardly any wide shots. There's more like there's this really cool shot of Jessica, like it zooms in on Jessica's face and she's like on her like hyper blue eyes, and I don't know, just shit like that is very aesthetically different. Yeah.
Okay. Even like you mean it just even from the first movie?
Yeah, it feels like that. I don't know if the movie will be like that, obviously, but the trailer definitely gave that impression.
Interesting. Okay.
Holy shit, they're riding the Dune worms.
Spoilers. Okay, that's interesting. I saw a screenshot of Austin Butler, and it was in black and white. And I sort of just thought that was like a promotional image or something, but like they are actually shooting their scenes in black and white.
Like the
isn't the whole Harkonnen aesthetic like because I'm on a frame of it now, but aren't they just like very white people that wear black so it looks like that, or is it actually shot in black and white?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good point.
I mean, they have like that stadium shot, don't they? Like, surely there's some piece of color in that, in that world. There's not even a brown, there's not even a gray, it's just black and white.
No, I'm not sure if this is. I reckon they just painted them white and then just dressed them in black.
I think you're capping, mate. I think you're a bit delusional.
But would that not be odd if they create this whole new, color choice when in the first movie all their scenes are in color?
Yeah, maybe.
Like in the first movie, that's cool, definitely their aesthetic, but it's not like it's shot in black and white,
But the shots do look very cool. Like, I'm looking forward to those sequences.
Looking forward to seeing them in IMAX again.
Get a second headache, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I saw a screenshot of Florence Pugh as well. She looked like she'd been Juned up, is how I'd put it. Costume.
She's gonna be Princess Irulan, who like narrates the books. She's like the Emperor's daughter. Who we don't see the Emperor in the trailer. So
but that's Christopher Walken is the Emperor, right?
Yeah, saving that for the movie.
The Emperor's daughter, interesting. Okay.
Wait, so do they, to your knowledge of the books, Liam, do they have to adapt things going forward now, or can they end it with satisfyingly with Dune Part 2?
Well, I haven't read the second book, but I think I think they can end on Dune Part 2. I mean, most of the stuff in the trailer is like just stuff that happened in the second half. I don't think there's stuff past that.
No, but like, would it be a satisfying ending for audiences to just cut it off at that point in the story?
Right. He'll need to pull off a kind of, I don't want to spoil too much, but like a thematic shift, I guess, like put the audience in a different philosophical perspective. But I think he could do it, yeah. Like, yeah.
I saw that poster as well, by the way, and the cast. If you thought the cast was stacked last time, man, they might have lost Jason Momoa. Spoilers.
And Isaac.
And yes, so they lost a couple.
And Brolin.
They gained
Brolin's still there.
No, he's still there. They lost 2, but they gained like 5 because the cast is even more stacked somehow. It's like that poster top of it is like ridiculous. All right, very good. Now it's time for our highlights of the week. Jaden, what have you been watching?
I watched Guardians 3 last night.
Oh yeah.
It's so good, man. Like, bro, like I was struggling in the theater. Like, I didn't cry, but I forced myself to not cry. Like I was like trying very hard. I was like, I don't want to fucking cry in public, But like it there is sad shit that happens.
Wow.
Like look, it's definitely messy, and I can definitely see people having a very adverse reaction to it. Probably from you two as well. Like I can't imagine you guys not enjoying it entirely.
I saw there was some disappointed reactions. That's all I saw though.
Yeah.
But yeah, vague stuff. But yeah.
It moves pretty rapidly, and like they do that thing that Rise of Skywalker does, where they set a timer on it. And they set a 48-hour timer, so it has to move pretty fast. And I think that definitely does harm some of it because it is a bit Whiplash-ish. Not the movie Whiplash, but like speed Whiplash. But I did really like it. I think like Guardians has always been like a hallmark of the MCU for me. From the first one was incredibly strong. I still quite like the second one, although I know people massive.
Yeah. Okay.
But this is more like the second one, if I were to say, because it doesn't. I know for you, the charm of the first one was the ending with the dance scene. Like that was like not that wasn't the only charm, but that was like the one big thing. It was adverse ending to what you typically expect. This does follow like a more traditional ending, so like it is like and it kind of doesn't have that kind of uniqueness that the first one had. It is a bit more homogenized with the rest of the MCU.
Okay.
But I still think it worked quite well. characters are great. Like it's like it is just like the emotional stuff from the characters is really great. There's some cringe moments, but like that is kind of inherent these days. It is a like I don't know like it is a rocket centric story. Like I don't know if you guys know that, but like everything with him, super powerful, super emotional, and then like even the stuff with Quill is pretty emotional as well. And the villain's a bit cartoonish because he is just a bit too angry or too much of the time, but he's pretty great as well.
Yeah, I didn't love the second one. I feel like I needed to rewatch it. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't rewatch it. I don't know. I feel like I can't remember it at all.
Yeah,
so I don't know if that really
I have very little memory of it as well. Like I watched a holiday special in preparation for this yesterday as well.
Oh yeah, okay.
Absolutely don't watch that because you'll hate that. It is like it's low budget. Like you can tell everything is done at like 40% effort, like from acting to CG to direction to everything else. It is just a bit of fun for the holidays,
right?
But so there was characters. Sorry, just to like there was characters that rocked up that I was like confused as to where they were from in the second one, or like even like the location. I was a bit confused as to. It still works.
You mean to watch the third one?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I'll probably just jump into it then. I'll get this out of the way quickly. I watched this rom-com on Paramount Plus called The Flat Share. It's a British rom-com show. And I had no intention of watching this. My mum was going to throw on a new show, totally up her alley. And then I literally sat down for the first 10 minutes of it just because I was there. I was like, I'll give this 10 minutes. And then I ended up watching the whole thing because it was really good. I really liked it. The premise is that these two characters have to like share the same flat in different hours of the day, 24/7, but they never meet. And that's the idea. Just really fun, really funny, really enjoyed it. I'd highly recommend it if you like rom-coms. I don't know, I don't like rom-coms at all, really. This one was just really well done. It does some cool stuff with editing and perspective and stuff that was quite fun, and had a good editing with some of the music choices and stuff. It was just enjoyable, and I don't know, comes to a fairly standard, satisfying ending. But the journey was had some fun moments for sure. So I would recommend this if you like the genre. Fitzy, what about you?
I watched A Summer's Tale, which is a French film about this guy. He goes on holiday and he's like waiting for his girlfriend, but when he's waiting for his girlfriend, he meets this girl who works at a restaurant there, but she's basically waiting for her boyfriend. So she's like, oh, we can't be together, but they like each other, and so she recommends this other girl, and he tries to get with her because he's not really feeling with his girlfriend, and then she's like, oh, I have principles. I feel like a substitute. You're not like committing to me. And so he's like, oh, okay, I'll go back. I'll try my girlfriend. And the girlfriend's just kind of like cold. And so he goes back to the first one who he's like friends with. And then he basically has 3 girls who he can't choose, which one he wants to be with. And that's like the whole movie. He's like very indecisive. And it's just like a funny movie. It's a rom-com kind of French indie rom-com kind.
Rom-com genre taking over the highlights this week, man. Unbelievable. That sounds cool. That sounds like something that would be on SBS to me, but maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, I think some of Eric Romer's films are on SBS. French director guy, yeah.
Okay. Cool. So you'd recommend this film?
Oh yeah, it was very funny. It had the whole film club, riling up, laughing.
Oh, did you watch it for the Melbourne film club?
Yeah, it was a collab with the French club. Yeah.
Oh wow! Wow, clubs do collabs. What is this? It's unbelievable. Breaking the rules of the universe right there in my mind. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I'm in the mood right now, so I might check it out. All right, now comes a segment where we hand the show over to you with our question of the show. Last week we asked you, what is your favourite character costume design? Andy, for this question, he said, my favourite costume design of all time is outright simple, yet very sexy and infamously cheeky. It's Maggie Chung's latex suit from Irma Vep. Okay, I haven't read this yet, and I don't like where this is going.
It's not as bad as Past Answers.
Okay, all right, that's still not amazing, but anyway, an absolutely edgy meta film about a stressful film set attempting to remake a silent film. Jesus Christ, all right, that's meta. This latex suit is something you'd probably get at a sex store, and it also looks very similar to the one Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman wears. It was Liam who saw the film first, which then attracted me to see this film right away because it was one of Maggie's films I haven't seen yet. This latex suit is literally my Discord and now YouTube profile picture, so it's pretty obvious how much how much I absolutely wet over this cool costume that Maggie wears. Andy, why do you have to do this, man? He does this on purpose now, I swear. I feel like the time he broke us, now he's just going to take advantage for future, and I'm going to have to crack down on it if he continues, Andy, just saying, sorry. Oh, God. The fact that Maggie also plays herself in this film makes the latex suit even more legendary, considering it's probably something you would have not imagined the actress herself to be wearing in real life. She slays in everything she does, though, except for singing. Jeez, that's mean. There are no shout-outs because I think other characters' outfits don't really come to mind for me nearly as close as these ones, as my favourites. Thank you, Andy. That was that was an Andy comment for sure. I appreciate you. Luke said, my favourite costume design is Christian Bale's Batman or Arrow's Season 8 costume. How does Green Arrow look different in Season 8? I feel like I need to see that.
They change up the outfit every season a little bit. I haven't seen Season 8, so I don't know what it's like, but like...
I assume that's the last season, so it probably peaked, right?
No, I mean, whether it peaked or not is up to a little spooky, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, like they'll add a mask or they'll add a new other element or they'll change a material or something like that each season.
That's cool. Christian Bale as Batman. I don't want to... Have you guys got any Batman-related answers before I don't want to spoil anything?
No.
Okay. Is Christian Bale even the best Batman?
Best looking Batman?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. I don't really think so either.
Michael Keaton's is more like aesthetically pleasing, like comic book, like thick, thick line sense, I guess.
Yes. I like Robert Pattinson and Ben Affleck both more than Bale, actually, to be honest. Just, of course, strictly speaking, costume.
I don't really... Ben Affleck's... I'm not a big fan of Affleck's costume.
Yeah, I'm not massive on Affleck, but I do like art.
Oh, okay.
I think.
You're like, okay. I like Affleck because, like, he just... It makes him look jacked. It makes him look huge. He looks like a tank in that outfit, Especially, like, I've only seen The Dark Knight Returns, the cartoon, but, like, Batman is, like, wide. He's like a tank human, you know what I mean? He's jacked. So, like, that sort of invokes that more to me, whereas Bale sort of... And Robin Pattinson leans more into the detective side, but what am I saying? Bale sort of just looks... I mean, I guess he's meant to be a ninja, so I guess that works. But, like, he just sort of looks like a small dude. I don't know. Like, Ben Affleck's just freaking a force of nature, he looks like in that costume, in my opinion. But anyway, what are our favourite costumes, then, if not Batman, Jaden?
I don't know. This is difficult. Like, I was looking at my Letterboxd films that I've watched. I haven't even looked at TV, or games for that matter of fact. Like Spooky opened up last week.
Yeah, that's a whole nother... absolutely.
Yeah, so like sticking with like films, when I was looking through like some of the films I've watched recently, like more like highly rated, Margot Robbie's red dress in Babylon just is fucking awesome. I love the way it kind of cuts through the yellow of that early like kind of portion of the film, or most of the film as well, actually. So like I'll give... I'm not sure if that's my actual answer, but like it's definitely something that stood out to me, like going through a few of the pages of the films I've seen.
Yeah, I can't. That's a great answer. Can't dispute that. Yeah, that's a great point about shows and games. I feel like I should have had a more thought out, better answer. Counting those, there's got to be tons. But thinking films for sure. I mean, most superhero stuff is. I think the costume design overall is like one of the great strengths of superhero content these days. I think pretty much all superhero stuff has really good costume design, I would argue. So with that in mind, like my favorite like costume designer superhero film is Bane in The Dark Knight Rises for sure. Just love it. Love everything about it. Just that man That whole outfit just makes Tom Hardy look like the most threatening person alive. And it's, of course, just super iconic as well, the trench coat and everything. Is it a trench coat? Is that what you'd call it?
I don't know, but it's just so funny hearing this answer because, like, comic book ultras would, like, tear you apart.
For saying Bane, yeah, they would, wouldn't
they?
Yeah, I don't give a shit. It's great. It's awesome. They want Bane to be a Mexican professional wrestler, which I should like, but when you get Tom Hardy instead, you go with that. And to give a Star Wars answer, because of course I do, I have to go with, well, Jedi robes are iconic in general, but to pick a specific character look, it's got to be Anakin in Revenge of the Sith for me. I just love that. It's like the mix of the, the classic sort of style of Jedi robes, but the all black look is just, I don't know, just badass in my opinion. Obviously, meant to reflect his Vader look eventually, but yeah, just love it thematically, and it stands out amongst the other Jedi as well, who usually sort of wear like a I don't know, what would you call it, like a grayer color,
grey, brown, white, kind of earthy tones.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So it stands out amongst them as well. Big fan of that look for sure. All the prequels have great costume design. Fitzy, what about you?
I mean, Clint Eastwood in like the Man with No Name trilogy is pretty undeniable. I guess the Sancho.
Yeah.
Any costume with the Sancho is pretty great. I mean, Luke Skywalker in Return of the Jedi.
Wait, what do you call it?
I don't know. Sancho. I said both. Oh, poncho. Yeah.
Oh,
right, that's right.
Gotcha. I got. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry. Yep. I thought I wasn't sure if that what you were. That's what you mean though, right? Or is that?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Got it. I'm picturing. Yeah. Well, you're talking about the outfit on Endor, right?
Yeah.
He's wearing the poncho.
The Return of the Jedi. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sancho. I don't know why I said Sancho. I mean,
but his most iconic look in Return of the Jedi is the black outfit. But that's not the one you're talking about.
No, he's just talking about ponchos.
Am I talking about that? Like when he walked in with the green lightsaber, doesn't he have the poncho?
No.
Oh, I'm totally misremembering.
He wears a poncho. I guess you'd call it a poncho when he's the speeder bike chase. That whole Mills sequence.
Yeah.
That's a poncho.
Oh yeah, in the first one, I guess. Yeah. But regardless,
I think so.
Ponchos are cool. Sanchos are not too cool, but ponchos are cool.
Shout out to anyone named Sancho watching. So you're just a big poncho fan. Put a poncho on the film.
I thought I had an answer, but I forgot it, so I just looked at like the top rated films.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if you guys were to give a quick shout to games, what would you say?
Oh man, you can't put
no, just quick shout, just what comes to head.
Nathan Drake in Uncharted.
Fair enough.
I was going to say that.
Why am I blanking so hard?
Link. Kratos is pretty good.
Kratos, yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, Link and Zelda. Anything for you, Chad?
Vault 111 Vault Suit, baby.
Oh, the Vault Suit, 100%. What about TV?
I'd go with the 12th Doctor.
Who's that again? Sorry,
Peter Capaldi.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's a very refined kind of Doctor look that has like touches of like previous Doctors. It's really nice.
Does Tony like wear like a consistent outfit? I guess. He just wears suits and like shirts.
I picture Tony Soprano as wearing like a polo. Personally,
a bit sweaty, a bit dirty as well.
Yes. Yeah. Spooky's nailed the Walter White costume design.
Oh, that was nuts when he rocked up on fucking Wednesday.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my god. We've got no idea. He was wearing a Walter White cosplay. It was like spot on. He was like unreal. It was unreal.
I think he should have
shaved head. Yeah.
There's another. I mean, Game of Thrones got iconic costume design all throughout.
Oh yeah, like Pedro's is like top tier.
Oh yeah. Jon Snow's look is iconic. Yeah, anyway, that turned into more of a spontaneous thinking exercise than I thought. But no, there's a shitload. There's a shitload for sure. All right. As always, we'd love you to submit your responses, thoughts, reviews for next week's film in the YouTube comment section. Leave us a comment on Instagram or Spotify, or join the Discord server. This week, the specific question we'll be asking you is, what is the best use of popular music in film? We've got a poll announcement here.
How long have you gone unbeaten now?
I don't know.
Surely it's the best run in cinema effect history. by this point.
I'm a humble guy. I don't really take notice.
Mm-hmm.
But hang on,
13 months.
Is it actually the whole year?
No, I think there was. I think Liam had one in between. I think I might have had a few at the start of the year.
Oh, okay, yeah, right. I see. The film I'll be nominating for our Instagram poll is A Single Man.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. Yeah. So, Jaden, what are you going to pick that's going to win?
Fifth Element.
Oh, okay. Cool. Nice. All right. So we'll have A Single Man versus. Is it The Fifth Element?
The Fifth Element, yeah.
The Fifth Element. Those two films face each other in an Instagram poll. So make sure to check our Instagram page about 24 hours or so after this episode goes live and cast your vote for what we'll be reviewing in a fortnight's time. That's it for this week's episode of Cinema Effect. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Fitzy, what are we doing next week?
We are doing Apocalypse Now. Wow. Which is on Stan.
Which version are we doing, Liam?
Yeah, great point.
I don't know. I don't think the Redux version is on Stan, but we'll see, I guess.
Would it just be theatrical?
Yeah, I guess so. I'm pretty sure it's just the 3-hour version on Stan.
Just the 3-hour version.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Not a big deal.
So is that the shortest version?
Isn't the theatrical cut like 240 or 250?
Yeah, like 249. Although this one says 154. Okay, so it's like 2.5 hours, 234 minutes. But the Redux is like 3.5 hours or something.
Oh wow!
Is the final cut shorter or longer? Because for some reason I thought the final cut was like a pretty short one in comparison to the rest of them.
You've seen them all, haven't you, Fitzy?
I don't know the difference between the final cut and the original. I just know the difference between like the one that's like pretty normal and like the Redux version with like all the different scenes. But yeah.
So which one will you be watching?
Oh yeah, I do have the Blu-ray. I don't know, maybe.
Oh wow, he's got to pick it.
I don't know, man. We'll see.
Okay, let's see what radio. All right, very good. All right, well, I'm looking forward to knocking this goddamn film off my watch list. I'm sure Jaden feels the same way. For sure.
Yeah, after 2 years of teasing it.
Yeah, it's been a long time, man. All right, that'll be one for the ages. But until then, we'll see you all later. Appreciate Jaden and Liam being here as always. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Have a great rest of your week, and goodbye.